Hello everyone. Welcome to the next session for electrical safety and protection. I'm your host, Raghu Veera Raghavan, and today I'll be demonstrating our arc flash labeling software tool called the eLabelMaker. In this presentation, we will talk about the introduction and the challenges that we all face in creating arc flash labels as per the requirement and the application or according to the facility or site. Arc flash labels are part of electrical safety program, and it is obvious that every site or facility have their own requirements of printing their own labels. And labels are created and placed on several equipments within the scope of the study, and that includes switchgear, switchboards, panel boards, and other disconnect switches or motor terminal boxes. And each of these fault locations have different incident energy values and the corresponding safety symbols, and the incident energy and the arc flash boundary and the units, or in sometimes shock risk assessment boundaries, are also included in the label. So this opens up a challenge for creating different label templates and meticulously showing the incident energy analysis performed by ETAP. Some of the guidance that we get from these safety label standards are helpful in creating an arc flash label, and it also helps to properly size and provide the safety symbols according to the severity of the work and the hazard present in that particular equipment. The first one here is the NFPA 70E, the standard for electrical safety in workplace. And this standard also has several details regarding the work performed on energized equipment, and also talks about arc flash labeling and equipment labeling section. We also have safety symbols provided by the American National Standard for Product Safety Signs and Labels, which is the ANSI Z535.4. And these symbols are useful to identify the potential risk and the hazard present in an equipment. The Canadian standard CSA Z462 for the workplace electrical safety has some sample arc flash labels that could also be considered and used as a reference to start making the labeling process. And we do have the international standard for graphical symbols from the ISO 3864-2, which is also helpful in preparing your arc flash labels. With all these references and guidance, we have the ability to create arc flash label. Depending upon the equipment labeling section that is provided by the NFPA 70E, the probability of creating arc flash labels would be more in terms of the contents that is present in that particular arc flash label. For instance, section 130.5H NFPA 70E says that an arc flash label should have a nominal system voltage, an arc flash boundary, and at least one of the following: available incident energy and the corresponding working distance, which is nothing but the incident energy analysis method performed by arc flash, ETAP arc flash using the IEEE 1584 2018. Or you can have the arc flash PP category from the NFPA 70 tables for the same equipment, but we cannot use both as per the equipment labeling section. On top of that, you can also have a minimum arc rating of clothing and the site-specific level of PPE. So a typical arc flash label, a simple one, looks like what you see here, which satisfies with the requirement available in this particular section. However, this section clearly explains that there are several possibilities and combinations of different parameters that could go into an arc flash label. And on top of that, when you are using the arc flash incident energy analysis method, several equipments can experience a different incident energy values. So different incident energy values would obviously have the corresponding safety symbols that would illustrate the risk involved in that particular equipment. So that opens up a challenge for creating different arc flash label templates and meticulously showing the incident energy analysis performed by ETAP. In ETAP, We do comply with all those safety standards and the symbols associated with it, and we have been providing solutions till today using our ArcFlash standard labels features or the custom labels features. The ArcFlash standard label feature is already available in your installation directory, where you can basically have your own ArcFlash labels based on the templates provided by ETAP, and you can generate them in your own local language. We do have English, French, Spanish, and other different languages, and they are already pre-programmed and ready to go. So this is straightforward, and it is easy to generate a label from the ArcFlash analyzer of ETAP. But if there are any customization that needs to be done, the next solution that we had is the custom labels option, which is going to be a Microsoft Word document where you can have the ability to change the symbols and the size of the label and the corresponding units and the corresponding fonts that you need to have for that particular label. So based on these two experiences and these two tools existing with ETAP, it came down to a particular point where we need to have a proper design tool so that when we combine them, we would be able to get the desired ArcFlash label. So that brings up to our next phase, giving solutions for generating ArcFlash label, which is your eLabelMaker. You will have the ability to create your own template, which is the design stage. You could draw your label and have your corresponding information, and you can combine it with a database that is provided by the ArcFlash analyzer. And when you combine these two, you get your desired ArcFlash label depending upon several locations that has different incident energy and the corresponding safety signs and the unit conversions, and a localized version of your own label supporting several languages. So by accepting that challenge, I hereby wanted to show you how we are able to accommodate all these features in ETAP eLabelMaker. The eLabelMaker can be launched from the ArcFlash analyzer. So on the design stage, preparing your ArcFlash label, the label maker is automatically launched in this particular case from the ArcFlash analyzer using the eLabel button. So let's switch to ETAP, and you choose your project and you got your worst case ArcFlash energy based on the selected reports. You simply highlight the tool and click on the eLabel option. So once the label gets generated, you already have the interface that I'm talking about, where you have your database. So this database is none other than the one that came from the ArcFlash analyzer. So here you can have the database simply from a spreadsheet, and it can be displayed in here. So this particular database will have the ability to show all the entries that is coming from the ArcFlash analyzer. And you also have the ability to do a quick preview from here and select all the corresponding fields that is required as a data to be added to the label. So your database is set. Now comes to your corresponding ArcFlash label design that will incorporate all the features that is from this database to provide you a quality label. So to make your work easier, the label interface editor already comes with the label dimensions, and you can choose your label height and width from here accurately. And also, this can be tracked correctly using the ruler that is available in this particular editor. So the ruler is supporting both English and metric units, where you can have the ability to see whether it's in inches or in centimeters. So it obviously gives you that particular layout in order for you to choose the corresponding label size. The next accurate thing that we can do here is we can start adding the corresponding merge fields and the text that is required. For example, if you would like to have a text over here, you could simply call them as ArcFlash hazard present appropriate PPE required. So you have the ability to have this increased into the width and you can have your own font size and the corresponding details that is required to be added in this particular label. And if you click on the options for the text, you have the option to do word wrapping, have your corresponding size, and choose your font size accordingly. And you can have it as centered, trailing. All those formatting options are included in this particular case. And the good thing here is you can add as many merge fields that you want, which is this is your device ID, and this is your total energy, and this is your working distance. And that working distance goes in here, and every single merge field will automatically give you the corresponding merge field information right here. You can also put a text box, and you can basically add your text according to it, saying that this is going to be my working distance. And this is your working distance merge field. And you can, if it's not aligned properly, you can highlight the first one and the second one, and you can align it to the top. And automatically the program aligns it. So when you click on preview and print, you got your working distance with its corresponding field coming from the database. All right. Now, this is your design stage where you can play with ease of use of the tools, the formatting, and you can also basically have different sizes for the particular object, and you can also group them if you'd like to. And in case if you made a mistake, you have the ability to do undo and redo, and that would also fix and restore the previous operation. So with these tools, you have the ability to even insert pictures, and you have the ability to basically align them according to the way that the label is required to be printed. If not, there will be several templates that would be included in your installation directory when you get ETAP 22 that will be prepared by ETAP, and you can make use of them. So as a whole eLabel project, you have the database that you load, and then you have your template that you can get. So if you click on the template and you click on open, you can pretty much bring any templates that ETAP has prepared for you in this case. So let's say I pick up a warning label template that I created for this demonstration. I can select the template and I click open here, and I have my template already ready for you. So in this case, as you can see, you have the arc flash boundary, incident energy, and the working distance, and you have the grids to support the exact position and the orientation of that particular object. So if you can zoom in, you have the ability to get a much clearer picture and able to sort them according to the corresponding grid if you want. So if the grid is no longer required after you align them correctly, you will be able to get rid of it by clicking this option. You have also the ability to align it in case if it gets into a different position. So you can hold the first one and press and hold Control and select all these options, and you can click on align left, and it automatically gets into that particular position. And then the same thing can be done for this one where the merge field is not in order with the working distance. I have the ability to select the working distance merge field and the second working distance text, and I can align it accordingly. And once you do this, you can be able to see the preview of that label on how it looks like when you're about to print. The next big challenge that we have when we prepare arc flash labels is formatting. The arc flash analyzer from ETAP provides values based on the report database and the corresponding regional settings. If it's in English, you get it in feet and inches. If it's in metric, you get it in centimeters and meters. However, the presentation of a particular arc flash incident energy or arc flash boundary in a label is subject to change depending upon the value calculated by ETAP and the corresponding way it is presented in the label. One good example is I have heard users giving us questions which is very legitimate, saying, oh, the arc flash boundary is 6 feet 12 inches in my label, but it could be formatted to show as 7 feet. And that particular detailing is very accurate and important when it's required to print a label. Or in most cases, from the support point of view, in technical support point of view, I have got questions like, I would like to show only one decimal place for my incident energy values, or I don't want to have 3 or 4 significant figures. So these type of questions and these type of concerns from users made us to come up with an idea of introducing a new feature called the format templates, or in other words, in the ELabelMaker called the ETAP data template. So here's one demonstration on how that works to be shown to you. So in this case, the incident energy, what we have right now, is showing based on the current value as 71.28. So let's say I would like to show this incident energy as 71.2 or with one significant figure. So we could be able to do that by creating your own data template. So that is available over here, label data and data template, where a user could automatically create as many data templates that they want according to their requirements. So here are some samples that I have created for this demonstration, but to show it to you live, I can simply add one template here, and I can call it as incident energy, or in other words, I can call it as IE. One significant figure. So I can have the same font size for it, the way I would like to have, maybe 16 with a bold sign since it's a result value. And I can simply also take the reference from my previous one and select according to that particular case. So I can center it, or I can have it as this particular preview would give you what is exactly here. And then the data type could be same as, it could be a data type as an integer or a decimal, or let's say we do integer for this moment. So just like, let's say we have incident energy as a single value without any decimal points, and then the data format would be similar to here, and the custom data is left here. So the unit could also be used, or the unit does not have to be used. So I can simply type calories per centimeter square. Now, if I highlight that particular incident energy field right here as the merge field, which is called as the total energy, which is this one, total energy, which is already selected, right? The best way is we can choose the data template as the IE that we just created right now. The moment you do it, and if you click on the preview print, your significant figures are gone and the value is rounded off according to the integer, the nearest integer value. So this could be a much better solution to get the accurate layout and the format of every single result value from ETAP arc flash results. The same thing is also applicable to do unit conversions. The same incident energy could also be changed to joules per centimeter square. So I have the incident energy as calories per centimeter square. I have my formatting table where I can do joules per centimeter square. And that data formatting, upon clicking preview and print, it automatically converts the unit for us. And that is already defined in this data template. So by the time you get ETAP 22, this data template will fulfill all the requirements that is required, that is most commonly used from my experience interacting with users. Okay. This part is part of the file in the installation folder as a template, which could also be shared with other users, and they could be able to perform the same operation that we just discussed with you. So we have the data type as a text or a date. Same thing with different date locality. So right now we have it in the month and the date. This could be changed into a date and month by changing the template as date month to date month first and date next. So we can do that, which is what we see here, and we can do that from date to month for international users. That would get changed accordingly. So all these formatting tools would help us to get the correct layout of the label and the corresponding text that is required. So if there are two boundary values for arc flash boundaries, such as 40 feet 6 inches, you could show that just as 40 feet. So you could just come here, 40 feet 6 inches is actually 40.5. So you can just show the boundary in feet, and if you click on that, you would get the corresponding layout. And the same thing with respect to the significant figures could be changed according to the data template. So this is one time you're going to have all these formatting, and that would be added into the label. And this formatting template will be provided in the ETAP installation. So on the summary, the drawing tools, the alignment, and the grouping, the other formatting templates made our life easier in preparing this arc flash label for the first stage. There is another dimension to create arc flash labels based on the analysis itself. Let's throw into the mitigation technique that we could commonly use in our day-to-day life. So the data format and the graphical user and the ease of use is all taken care, and that's what we discussed in this particular custom data that would go into it. The next main important feature that we included in this tool is the maintenance mode. An arc flash label showing an incident energy with maintenance mode on, maintenance mode off. So this particular feature in the ELabelMaker would be of great use on locations where the incident energy could be used to show two different set of values in one label. To demonstrate this, I have prepared another template that is available here, and I'm going to show it in ETAP here. Let's say if I would like to load that particular project, I could go to the design view and click on the file new open project. And in here, I have made that label according to this particular case. So the template has been created, but the good thing that is available here is under the label database, there are two separate label databases that you can be able to load for the same label. The best way to explain it through ETAP is I ran 4 scenarios, one for the maximum arc flash without maintenance mode, which is AF1, one with minimum arc flash, which is AF2 without maintenance mode. That's what you got the worst case now. Now I have the ability to export this as my first database. So this would be my worst case incident energy without maintenance mode. And that would be saved anywhere you would like to have in here. So DB1 maintenance mode off. That could be my first label that I can select, which is available here. So in this case, I got only one bus because it's been filtered. But the second way is to select the worst case scenario based on the maintenance mode on. And that would give you that particular result that is required for us to get the worst case. That would be my worst case maintenance label. So out of the entire maintenance mode off, the worst case label is one database. With the maintenance mode on, the worst case is the second database. And out of all those two things, we got the worst case, and that could be brought into the label maker here. So the load database 1 is the actual maintenance mode, which is the normal operation here. And then the second one is the label database with the maintenance mode on, and that would be your maintenance operation. Now the user can be able to select the corresponding database 2 settings, which is available here. You can search them out here, which is already selected. The database 2 total energy is selected, and the database 2, which is the maintenance mode on working distance, is also selected, and the corresponding boundary is selected. So all those 3 fields are actually available here. The database 2 total energy, the database 2, which is the maintenance mode on arc flash boundary, and then the working distance with the database 2 working distance. Now, after selecting all of them using all the formatting tools, all the design tools, and all the grouping options, and the alignment options, if you click on the print preview, this gives a clear picture what happens when the maintenance mode is off, the incident energy value, and what is the maintenance mode on incident energy value. And the mode of operation is clearly listed, so the worker could easily identify the type of PPE and the clothing that needs to be worn for either of those 2 modes of operation. And this could be done for all the records selected in that particular set of labels. The next feature that we have, now that the labels are available here and ETAP is a digital twin platform, everything is getting digitized. Your entire world is within your cell phone. And the existence of accessing an arc flash label and reprinting it, and the ambiguity of reprinting the labels every time a new analysis is performed, is now being accepted by the industry to shift gears or transition to the digital world. And that brings up to my next demonstration on how ETAP can provide you an arc flash label in a server. And that would be none other than the QR code feature that is available in the eLabelMaker that we introduced for this particular condition. So you have the option to generate QR codes in the arc flash label that you prepare from the eLabelMaker, and upon uploading it to the server, the worker could simply go and scan the QR code from the cell phone and be able to see the most recent data that is being supplied for that particular location and the corresponding clothing. So to demonstrate that, I have created this one here, and please keep your phone in handy if you have one next to you. So I got this particular template where I'm going to change that to the QR code template that I got here, where I was able to select the QR code here. So in this QR code, I have the QR code embedded already. So you could be able to simply go to the label data and click on the display. And in the additional data, you have all the links for the QR code for every single one here. So once you generate the QR code based on the analysis performed for each of those equipment, if you simply click on the preview button, you will just get a QR code that would take you to that particular location where that label is saved in the server. Feel free to volunteer yourself, take your phone and scan this QR code and see if you are able to see the bus 4 results. And this could be done for all the labels that has QR codes. And that would give you the upper hand that this label would be sticking in the equipment for the first time, and every time the QR code will point out to that link where the updated arc flash label is available, depending upon the study that was done in this particular facility. The next main feature that we have that is more time saving and at the same time having different localization languages that you have in ETAP. So currently in ETAP, when you have different languages installed for the version, you also have the standard labels coming in that localized version. For example, if it's a Spanish label, you have the Spanish folder as the formats folder in Spanish that would have that particular localized setting with all those features. With this eLabelMaker, regardless of your computer settings or your regional settings, the eLabelMaker could easily make you a customized label that is supporting your regional settings. For ArcFlash, which is being globalized right now by ETAP, the eLabelMaker is the tail end to it. It gets connected and articulated. So we follow through, we keep the flow, we keep the pace on it, and we still wanted to give the complete solution using the eLabelMaker. One good example is we have all these languages available here. I was even surprised that we have Spanish, we have French. I even have a label that is from my own mother tongue that is also available here. And to show that demonstration, I also have that in this label maker. I have created a separate template for this demonstration, which would be useful for you to select the corresponding label actually. So we have the French, we have the Spanish, we have my language Tamil. So for instance, if I open mine, you have the ability to create the ArcFlash label according to that particular keyboard. So how do I know that? It's actually the keyboard feature that could be used from your localized settings. Plus, you have the ability to choose the locale depending upon your particular regional settings that we have here. If your keyboard supports any of these languages, obviously it is easy to type in here. Or even much more easier, you can go to Google Translate, type in your word in English, copy it, paste it here, and you got your localized label. And if you are using the localized version of ETAP, all your ArcFlash parameters will also be translated according to it, according to the way you type it, and that would be populated in here. So this could be equally available for all the templates that is actually included in the label maker. So I have one for Spanish where I do have that particular case located in here that would give you the ArcFlash label based on the Spanish language. Listening to our customers, accepting their feedback is what we came up with these solutions. And most importantly, the conclusion for this particular presentation is the ease of use of tools, the use of templates, converting units, localized labels, the digital labels with QR codes, having multiple databases such as maintenance mode on and off. We have more features that is added to this eLabelMaker that would resolve a lot of problems and questions that would be in the past and provide you with a much more easier and an efficient way of creating ArcFlash labels. Long story short, as I wanted to point out that this particular eLabelMaker feature, this tool is not just a eLabelMaker. I would like to say this tool is the label maker. The label maker that would definitely provide the solutions, that would definitely give you the answers for all the questions you have. Based on this particular topic and the conclusion that I made here, I feel confident that this tool will be well received. It's been a great pleasure, and thank you so much for attending this session. Thank you.